Hi everyone, daviusminimus playing some black-white tokens, hopefully pretty soon. I don't normally do a deck tech for these kind of things, but I'm just going to briefly say what my process was for this one. Black-white tokens is a deck I've played a bit before, and I know, for example, that I've always liked builds without bitter blossom, and so I went looking for builds that I that I liked, and generally speaking, I quite like Tide Hollow Scullo in these kind of decks. And yeah, this list I found, it's from February this year, so it's not that dated. Um, and the guy was like clearly playing on a budget because he didn't have um, marsh flats. He had windswept heaths, but everything else I really liked. So I didn't really think he'd made too many budget concessions really. And again, it was just some things that I really liked about the list. So he had Kataki as well as Stony Silence, which I think is really good in here. It makes them require potentially two different types of removal, and you have to remember that um, actual spot removal is really bad against this deck because you don't have any creatures that you really need to kill other than the Tide Hollows. Um, so but they can't completely ignore creatures either. So I really like this build. So let's take it for a spin and see what happens. Um, Modern League budget black white tokens. So the great thing about this is that I don't I don't particularly feel like this is actually a budget deck. I feel like it's pretty close to what I would play with unlimited funds. You maybe change an Inquisition for Thoughtseize. Maybe um, yeah. I don't really like this Spirit of the Labyrinth, I have to be honest, but it was in the list, so I'll run it. But yeah, I like most of this. I like most of this quite a lot. Um, Black White Tokens is going to be good against, generally speaking, the slower decks in the format, so I felt like it was a really good time just to give it a spin because um, the format has slowed down. Caruso is usually on Kiki Chord, Prime Speaker Vanifar. See, you can't keep this hand, it doesn't have enough lands. We can keep this hand because it's good. It's actually very good. I'm going to tuck a Virtue. This hand's really good because he's a mana dot deck if he's playing the deck that I think he is. Sometimes he spreads out to Neoform, which should be kind of disappointing. Anyway, we'll put a Gideon on the under there, chuck them on the bottom, and then yeah. So Gideon's a token maker and an emblem, so that's pretty good. Yeah, this looks like Vanifar. It's pretty tempting here to push our persecution, but actually, I think it's just better to play the Virtue and then play this next turn and get 6 power on the board. Their very fastest kills are turn 4, so we should have time, and then we get paid off for holding everything here. It's a risk to let them untap with all this mana. By doing this, so our mana isn't perfect here, and by playing, if I push this, for example, they get 4 mana. If I play this, I take myself. I can't push later. I can't push the 4 drops later. They don't have white mana right this second, but doesn't mean they haven't got one in hand. If I play this, it gets me closer to Gideon, but Gideon's not really what. It's not what I need right now. But these will be 3/3s if I played this. So I'm just going to run it out. Batterskull's kind of meh against 3/3 flyers. So, we're just getting so much value out of this persecution. It's getting mental. And that's a good draw because we can virtue. Yeah, this has got a bit silly. So attack with all of them and then persecution, and we should win this game. This is a 4 for 1. They're going to flash in a batter skull, but we're going to swing 4, 8, 12 damage. And they have very little left. And they did miss their third land drop. Yeah. That's kind of brutal. Next turn we could have Gideoned an emblemed and pushed. It's kind of sick. I still think they're on Prime Speaker of NFR. So I might take Stay in the Mind. I think I can beat most of their just basic creature hands though, so I'm not gonna trim a couple of Inquisitions for Disfigure and the Stay in the Mind. Because generally speaking, the stuff I care about is a 4-mana card. There's a few. There's no actual disenchant, which is kind of shitty. I don't know, oversight on my part. I should be playing Sundering Growth here. But it is tempting just bringing Stony Silence for the swords. I don't think I will. I think I'll just keep it like this. I don't think he'll keep all his docks in because he saw Persecution, so I'm not going to bring in the other two. Nothing else here is that impressive, so the main deck's pretty good against what they're doing, I think. So yeah, this hand's pretty good. We have a couple of choices. If they lead on a Mana Dork, I'd probably lead on Inquisition, which means shocking ourselves. Ah, okay. That fixes that issue. I maybe should have shocked anyway. Right, well. If I take this, I don't really have too many plays right now. I have to be a little careful about just restoring to Kiki. I don't have removal for that right now. But yeah, they don't have a lot else going on. So I'm just going to hold up Raise the Alarm. And then next turn, Windbrisk plus Legion's Loyal. That's a worry. Because they've got 3 red, so if they just have it here, there's actually nothing I can do. And they are playing for it, so Windbrisk, like, took some removal under there if we got any. I honestly can't remember which I prefer out of the two. Hold up push. Though it doesn't actually look like push because this makes it look like push. Yeah, that's why he hasn't flashed and blocked, because it turns on push. Yeah, okay, here Kiki comboed. Not a lot we could do about that. And there's not a lot I can change to make that a better situation. I'm just going to run it back. You have to keep these planeswalkers in because it's your top end, and this game can go long sometimes. You know, like we saw they had like Voice, Fiery Justice and stuff like that, so sometimes this will be a grind. And then you need the planeswalkers. Mana's no good. Mana's still no good. This is a 24 land deck, so this is kind of unlucky. This is better. I mean, it's not exciting. I'm going to ship the basic swamp and the marsh flats, and then just lead on Inquisition, and then next turn Legion's Landing. Okay, so what do I care about? A Witness gets it all back, but it's pretty slow, is that? I think I'll just take the Stoneforge here. Was an argument for taking Voice when they have Evo kicking about. So, just finding a land in the next turn would give us Lingering Souls. Right, Persecution goes under the bottom, we leave 3 lands there. I'm going to pass, and I'm probably going to... I think maybe I'll pass this now. I do need to hit my land drops, and they are on like a value plan, so yeah, I'm just going to pass this now and get basic swamp. And then next turn we can souls, and then I hope this means they've missed their land drop. It doesn't. Red and blue. Like I said before, I think this deck beats their basic, like they're just creature beatdown plan. Oh, is that Blood Moon coming in? Just gonna take the 2. Yep. They can Evo for Prime Speaker here. Which puts me on a eek. We have quite a few basic planes, so this isn't as bad as it could be. We have just 4. It's worse than I thought. He can't attack with this. He can't really attack with this, so it's only this that I'm too worried about right now. So that does change things slightly. So yeah, it does 2 damage to any creature and draws a card, so I have to block with one of them. So that's what we will do. Just do that. We have to draw planes soon. Keep all this back, I guess. This isn't looking great. We were unlucky. We had to mull to 5, which I don't think this deck... it doesn't have to mulligan that often, and we've mulliganed most games here. It's going to get Prime Speaker, put us on a 1... shall I? Okay. Is this just not a Prime Speaker deck? Could be. We know the contents of their hand. I think I'm just going to take this power off the board. Take 4, go to 7, go to 5. And I'm dead next turn, but kind of dead next turn anyway. I don't really want to give him a card. I think I'll just take 3, block here. It's awkward. It's unlucky. I'm going to concede. Damn. That's a match that I would have said was pretty favourable, so to lose that's a bit disappointing. We got locked out by Magus of the Moon, and we had to mull to 5, and we mulled to 6 in the other game that we lost. I think. So, yeah, things like that happen. I don't think it's anything to do with the build particularly. So we can Godless Strain Thoughtseize, which I'm not sure we're meant to do. No, I think we're just meant to save 2 life. Because we don't have a particularly... Oh, so against John, this is pretty much right, I think. You preserve your life total. You were playing on curve anyway. So it's probably better to go Tide Hollow into Thoughtseize plus Raise the Alarm. Because even if I... Oh, okay, so that's not what I expected at all. Red, green, blue... Okay, well, Electro Dominance is usually a key card, but I'm taking Lightning Bolt because it stops them taking this, and I can Thoughtseize next turn, take the Electro. So if they want to... So they drew Misty, so they're going to explore. I don't really know what plays Explore, Bolt, and Electro Dominance. Like Rug, Ancestral Vision, Crushing Rhinos kind of deck. Okay, well, lead on Inquisition since it tags the cards that I want to tag. Collective Defiance. Does 4 damage target creature, 3 damage target opponent or Planeswalker. Well, I don't really care about that. So I'll take the Electro Dominance. Swing for 2. And then I can end step, Raise the Alarm. Our clock is a little slow at this point. If we draw a land, it gets better. So let's see how we get on. I mean, they might feel the need to explore plus Defiance. And if they do, I'm going to have to take at least another 2, so they go down to 13. I have to think the Defiance, or maybe they're in 2 modes. Maybe they want to loot plus take the Bolt back. That would make some sense. Because targeting, so they're dealing 4 to this, and they're looting, like mega loot. Pillage was in their hand. It's a kind of weird Ponza deck. Whatever's going on over there, it is pretty weird. I'll have another look if I don't draw land. Yes, let's have another peek. Crashing Footfalls was something I expected, and this has to go. I'll let them play their stuff for free. So this becomes a land next turn if we keep all our creatures, which we know they have a Bolt, but them bolting a 1/1 can't be good for them, but they might actually have to. Crashing Footfalls has gone on suspend. Steam Vents is in play. They bolted a token because of this. Makes sense. But they are not rewarded for it. So I tend to favour... I really like Sorin, but I think it's just Gideon here. Gideon Maker guy. Because next turn we can make a bigger guy. I like make everyone bigger. So dying. So yeah, so our hand's lined up really nicely. We'll be pretty lucky with how it's gone. Is this Gideon dying? Opponent's pretty good. He's playing well. That's a 9. So we'll play Sorin. And I think I'm going to just make a guy and stay on defense. I guess I could get him for 1. Then I'm going to draw 2 removal spells in one draw step. How long have I got till these guys come? So they're 2 turns away. So that's what I need to get them dead for. Yeah, this exile top 6 cards of your library, cast 2 sorcery cards with 3 mana or less, and cast them. So they're powering this guy up. They're trying to stop me flipping Legion's Landing, which is kind of smart, but 3, 4, 5. So I could swing for 5 next turn just by doing this and upticking. They did top their last card. Well, that's nice. And we play this pre-combat because the creatures get the buff until next turn. So I now have 6 lifelinking power in play on the defense, which is just useful to have. He has a 6/6 over there if he wants it. So I assume they don't want the 6/6 because they left a card on top. They have a card in hand. So, oh, okay, they can't beat that. They know what they have on top, I guess. Sweet. Okay, well, it is kind of a combo match. It is a weird one. I want those, I think, and maybe just trim the Planeswalker part. You kind of look at, when you're making cuts, Fatal Push or Path could go. I guess Path is the worst of the two. But yeah, you really always look at Persecution's pretty terrible as well, actually. Okay. Damping Sphere at least buys you a turn, stops Electro Dominance and As Foretold shenanigans. Bindington's not great. This is an Anthem, but it's just a really bad one. It's probably better than Fatal Push. Persecution. The Raging Ravine, Crashing Footfalls. It's almost always wrong to remove all removal from your deck. But I've no idea what they would be boarding in creature-wise, so... Persecution, Push, or Path are the options. Path can ramp us. It's like a bad ramp card, but it can ramp us. Persecution is just a one-hit Anthem. Push isn't great. I think I've talked myself into playing Path. I just hope I don't have it in my opener. It's okay, it's a little sluggish. But it does have a lot of power, like turn 4 plus. Yeah, okay, so it's worth shocking here because next turn is tap to land another Inquisition, and then the following turn is the token makers. So Finale lets them cast stuff on the yard. They just start on the anger because that's the thing that we care about most. Now, if they rip footfalls, or did they rip something to go with this? It'd be a real oversight on my part. Phew. Because I'm Inquisitioning again next turn, I should have just taken Electrodominus. I could have been really punished for that. Discard spells tends to be pretty poor against like infinite, like redraws. Let's see. Okay, well that probably is our best clock. So let's take Electrodominance, but this is the card I'm scared of at the minute. Yeah, now they have the mana for it, so we are in trouble. I'm pretty sure with Windbrisk in play, they're going to just bolt one of these tokens. Yep. And then they'll roll the dice on Company. Collected Conjuring even, not Company. So 6 cards. Oh, that's a real bad shot. Up to 2 target sorceries. Why did they only cast 1? They revealed double 7 visions there and only cast 1 of them and brought on both cards. So here I'm going to play the Walker and I'm going to make a token. I'm going to just swing with both of these and block this if they make it a thing, but I doubt they make it a thing. They're Finale, so they can Finale for Anger of the Gods. If they wanted to, they'd get Anger plus Bolt, so that'd kill this and all of these. Which should be, like, it would look a good play for them, but actually we still have double Ingrid Virtue, so it's not that bad for us. And it's one less. Oh, so they have Electrodominance, so what have they drawn? Crushing Footfalls or Ancestral Vision? So they anger the dudes. They do that for X is 0. And play Ancestral Vision and draw 3. Okay. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to draw. I'll get basic planes. Go 1, 2, 3. Make some guys. 1, 2. Make some guys. Make them all bigger till next turn. And I'm kind of all of a sudden just not scared of I'm not scared of Crashing Footfalls now. If I got to uptick this and play this, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. I'd have 12 power on the board. I doubt it's going to happen. It's shown it's plenty of removal, but we've got 4 cards in hand. Right. Double Crashing Footfalls and Farseeks. So they've done double Footfalls, which are impressive and everything. It's 16 power. But if I get another turn, which I am doing, yeah, we win. 3, 6, 9, 12. Is this a different sewing? No. Lifelink, Vigilance. Hit you for 12, going 12. Win. Sweet. Well, it's kind of backwards. I felt favoured against the first deck and unfavoured against the second. Because the second was like just generally doing something quite unfair. But Lightning Bolt is pretty bad against our deck. But yeah, it can bolt the Planeswalkers, but it tend to get some value before that happens. So overall, yeah, I mean, they had Conjure and they had Collected Conjure and they had Anger the Gods, Electric Dominance, and those should all cause me a lot of problems, but somehow that didn't happen, so good times for us. Have to keep an ear out for the baby. Okay. It's okay. It's not exciting, but I'm going to keep it basically on the hope that this is good. And if they're like a Thoughtseize deck, I'm kind of happy about that. If they're an aggro deck, I can probably get away with this hand. If they're combo deck, we just lose on the spot. Unless you draw an Inquisition, and then you have half a chance. Yeah, okay. So they have 5 lands, 5 mana's worth of lands, and they have Can Titan. So as long as they don't draw ramp spells like instantly, we're okay. That's not an exciting card. But yeah, so like if they just go Gemstone Pass and then Gulturf Pass. Oh, 10 off auto yield. 10 off auto yield. Oh, I can't push that. I don't have Revolt. That's kind of disgusting how they've drawn, because they've drawn Simic and Azusa. So next time they have a Titan. It's about my favourite shimmer straight from work. Oh, cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Don't get in trouble. I mean, I'm facing a Primeval Titan, but I am actually going to try and race the Primeval Titan, which I'm pretty sure is impossible. The problem is they can make a Titan here, and then they can, next turn, they can probably have 10 mana. Ah, and they've even drawn an untapped land. Life is good for the opponent, not so for me. We managed to Inquisition away the only card that mattered, and they just drew a second copy within a turn, or 2 turns. The Amulet deck is pretty resilient though. Amulet's like the deck that I played for many, many years, and my best mate RL would play Black-White Tokens the most. So it's a matchup that we know inside out, and it's pretty heavily favoured for the Amulet guy, because the clock just isn't good enough on this side of the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, they have 10 mana. So 10 mana is like Karn plus Lattice. So what I'm gonna do is make enough power so I can kill the Karn, basically. And I'm gonna make an emblem, because if they want to kill this, they can. So I'm just gonna attack for 6, and then next turn, I don't know. Let's see what they do. They can Titan plus haste it, so 8 plus 6 is 14. They have 15 power available by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and grabbing Bound Sand and Slayers and then playing it. But I don't think, unless they rip Amulet, there's no way they can really make. Oh, that is ridiculous. It's potentially a problem. So they have to reveal Amulet here, and if they do, we're dead. The double striking Titans. Yeah, we're dead. I make him play it out, but I think he's seen it. They've drawn absolutely perfectly, basically. So I'm not too disheartened. Like, it's 8 plus 6, 14. I'm not going to make him because he's going to find the double strike land. Everyone who plays Amulet knows that. Damphy Sphere's good, Stay in the Mind's great, Disfigure's decent. Stony Silence isn't, and Kataki isn't great. It does stop engineered explosives, which is pretty rough for us. Persecution sucks. Fatal Push kind of sucks. It's okay. Path is better than Push for definite. You've got to keep stuff in that lets you put pressure on them. But we don't have a lot of tools. Let's run it back and see what happens. They did draw perfectly. Like we can't like we can't feel too disheartened. If they don't draw the Azusa in the first turn or two, we have a very real chance of winning that game. And then if they don't draw the Amulet, yes, they have 2 Titans, but they would have been, what were they down to? Something like only maybe 14 life, and then they gain a couple off a couple of Titans, so they could have been back up to 18, but we could maybe have pressured them. And we had a path, so we had a chance. What's this? So this is turn 4. So turn 1 nothing, turn 2 Virtue, turn 3 Lingering Souls, turn 4 1 2 3 4 5. Graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. So turn 4. Oh, how do they make a turn 3? It has to have an Amulet and some sort of ramp. I think I'm going to keep this. It could be too slow, but if we manage to play this on 4, we will win the game. Most likely. The only thing that could stop us would be the Khan lattice thing, but we'll have tokens. So, I mean, that's a good draw, because I don't need to play Virtue yet. That's really good to see. It really slows them down. It means they can't pact for Azusa, then pact for Titan. So we'll take the Azusa, play this and go get another Marsh Flats in a second. Maybe this list should have Field of Ruin instead of maybe 2 of these Wimbrisk Kites. Wimbrisk Kites hasn't been activated yet. Yeah, so they're a little worried to go for Azusa off a pact. So yeah, so we make a couple of tokens, and then depending on how things go here, it's really tempting to Stain the Mind for Summoner's Pact because they have 2 in hand. But I only really care about Primeval Titan. I'm going to do it because I've drawn that. Is literally the only reason. Because I've drawn this, I can Stain the Mind for Summoner's Pact, because I can path the first Titan and they can't go find a second one. So tagging 2 cards from their hand is real nice. Turning off all their Primeval Titan options is pretty nice. And yeah, like, if I'd have taken the Primeval Titans, they'd have had... Yes, it's only 1 Hornet Queen, but they would have had a Hornet Queen that they could use. Or they could have gone and got a Azusa. So, yeah, and their list looks pretty stock at this point. Yeah, this side bodied like I would, probably. And then we could play this. And then next turn, I think we go Virtue first. Wow, they drew another Forest, so... Yeah, we'll go Virtue. No, we'll go Gideon. Make a token, so we're just adding more power to the board. And then next turn. See, this is worth 4 next turn because of this and this. Whereas I missed 4 damage by playing this late, so it's kind of indifferent. Did they draw a Titan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Okay. Are they dead? 6. Yeah, they're dead. Sweet. Exacties. Well, that seemed pretty key. We did see Secure Tribe Scout. There's a 4 of in the list. So Disfigure's tempting. These Planeswalkers are real chunky, really like clunky and crap. I'm going to chop one for Disfigure because it could be key. Wow, we can't keep that. Well, at least we got a game. It's more than I expected. Stay in the Mind was brilliant. We have a turn 3 Stay in the Mind here, so we'll keep. We'll ship one of these Wind Risks. We definitely don't need 2 of them. Not with the curve we have. Don't want to see it. So go and play Stirrings. Oh, that's okay. That's the least worrying of all of them. It's cool, this little guy. Explosives on 0 is not a problem at this stage. We don't want to be drawing lands, so Virtue is... It's the best card in the deck. Every game that we've played it, we've looked pretty good. Wow, they are rampy. Rampy ramp. Oh, they've missed land drops. Huh. I think I have to play this Raise the Alarm on their end step and hope for the best. If they... Yeah, I'm not going to try and block it. They've missed land drops. They're not struggling for ramp, they're struggling for lands. So, which means they have some sort of payoff over there. And boom. And I don't think they have... Right. Make some black. I don't think they have Khan in hand, because if they did, they'd have played it. And now they missed a chance to EE. So I can Primeval Titan with this. And leave them with just Khan. Ho. Boom. This is where knowing the opponent's deck is pretty useful. I'm going to just press print screen there. That was just lovely. Just lovely. So now I kind of like, I just keep this near. I can kind of, if I really care, I can work out what they have left in their deck. And it can be really useful, can that? So they drew Slayers, so like, they had no cards in hand, and then they drew Slayers. And I now take one. So this is kind of dead now, but other than that, I've asked them to blow that up, which is kind of dumb of me. But they don't know. I should have attacked first, just to see. Yeah, what they... Okay, so they've drawn a Simic. transmuted T-West, so that's bye-bye. And then let's see what they grab. I mean, they can only really get lands REE, so a second engineer, a pact for Hornet Queen is what's coming up. But I'm going to force them to use it now, so it will. So this Inquisition is pretty bad still, but wow, okay. But by yeah, so they're blowing that, which is fine, and then we will Inquisition. So then they will fire off the Summoner's Pact, so now they have a pact to pay. So obviously we know they have Inquisition, that's fine. So what that's done, it's just bought me a turn, that's all. But that's a turn worth having for sure. Right, I just have to answer a phone call, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, well, we're getting a little bit behind here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to take 6, because I want to be able to attack with these to flip this. But then when I do that, I'm taking another 6, 7, 8. Oh, so I can't attack? No, I can, because this will flip and I can make a token. Wow, we are so far behind. I mean, we know they're not doing anything next turn. So that flips. And then this happens. Cast it. So we get in for 6. And now we have a 2/2 with lifelink, and we can make another lifelinker. So, yeah, we're not in good shape. If they draw a land which lets them activate this, we're just dead. So there's quite a few outs there. They've got all these bounce lands. So 4, 5, 6, 7 bounce lands plus 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have 11 outs to just kill me. I think if they'd have drawn it, they'd have played it. No, they were just a little slow to figure it out. But they have it. They have lethal. There's a 9. They drew well, again. But I should have boarded in. I should have kept in some number of persecution, because we knew that this was our plan, was to get them on this. So They have 8 in the air, and we can't stop that. I'm gutted. We're just 1 life short. Maybe I shouldn't have cracked a fetch. We flooded out pretty badly here. Look, 7-8 lands by turn 8. So yeah. And we basically lock it up here because these all have lifelink and vigilance. So the game was done if we had 1 more life. That's disappointing. I feel like we could have won that game. I'm starting to try and make notes of matches as well. I'm going to try and put them on the website. So check that out. The website is budgetmodernmagic.com, and yeah, you can see all my videos, all my articles. So I've tried to add a bit of text to them now. I have the first article up, a little overview of the article, like a brief, and we have a list of decks that are on my to-do list. I have links to other sites that I will talk about in a little bit. Anyway, let's try and... I really want to go 3-2 with this. Shanao's a real low aim, but okay, we'll keep this because we can go turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Inquisition plus Windbrisk Heights, and then we can go Legion's Landing or Raise the Alarm, or if we draw a land we could do both. I think I'm just going to get a basic. No, I'm not. I'm going to get Godless Shrine because of this. So here we go. Bam. They have Spell Snare, which I don't care about. Opt, that I don't care about. Narset, that I don't really care about. So we'll take Force Negation. I'm going to take Narset next because it's a value card and I don't really want them to get infinite value. It's not infinite value, it's two draw steps. I don't want them to get 2 draw steps. In fact, what I'm going to do here is Legion's Landing first, which isn't mana efficient, but it is. I have another turn before I need to Inquisition, so this just starts the clock a little sooner. Perfect draw that is. We will Inquisition, and I may take the Spell Snare just to resolve Virtue, but then again, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Spell Snare and pass. And now, do they have 5 cards? Yeah. Now I can raise the alarm when they play this, if they play Narset. So they don't play Narset because they're scared of me flipping this. So let's raise the alarm. And now when I attack, I get this and this. Okay, that's not dreadful. We have another Virtue and we have this flipping, so that's kind of good actually, I think. It's not amazing, it's okay. So let's Possession. Make some more tokens. And we're just going wide, real wide. If they want to spend their turn field of ruining this, that's just fine by me. Yeah, I thought they'd be forced into something like that pretty soon. They have Verdicts coming up. And that doesn't do anything, so let's... I can Virtue 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to Virtue, and I'm just going to send 1 at this because I don't care about its draw mode. and then everything else at him. This might be a mistake, but I just want to put as much power on the board as I can. It's all going now, and then I'll start making tokens again. If they ever crack this is lethal, so I don't think they can really. I just want to get them as low as we can, as quick as we can. And I think we might have them. We know they've flooded out a touch, but even still. They kept a hand with loads of land, so we don't know any of their 4 cards at this point. So they... okay, they're desperately digging. I'm surprised they didn't just tuck this. Very surprised. Okay. What do they have? Okay. So they have path. Okay. Well, I have to ignore the planeswalkers because they're going to path. This is kind of awkward. If I send them all at Teferi, they'll path anyway. I'd rather just have them low. So they're down to 2, and now I have far more power on the board, and now they have to have something to stop this, and then they have to have something to stop the flashback. So they are getting cards, and our cards are all dead, basically. Getting desperate. Yeah, getting desperate. They will have 4 mana. So they have cryptic mana. So they might be able to tap the team. And you know, if they tap the team, it gives Snapcaster as an out. You're not playing anything this turn. We could get locked out here. There's enough creatures on the board that I don't need to flashback the souls. They're drawing 5 a turn here. They've got to put 2 back, but they're drawing 5. Snapcaster, Verdict. And they do have some mana for countering this Lingering Souls on its way back. Well, let's see if we can resolve this. Damn. Damn. I think we might be dead. If we're attacking with 3 creatures, we've won, but yeah. Might take a while for us to die, but I think we're dead. This ultimating with this in play is us dead anyway, so yeah, I think we're done. Done. Damn. That is unfortunate. It just doesn't matter to them at all. We were very close to taking that. I think I said we'd won at one point. Just after the verdict and we recovered. Virtue's totally blank at this point. Doesn't do anything. They emblem. They Jace, they win. So, we'll take Duress. And we'll take Spirit of the Labyrinth. And we'll cut Paths and Pushes. And add another crappy anthem, I guess. I think I'll just add a crappy Rest in Peace. I know it's a number with Lingering Souls, but it does stop Snapcaster, which, you know, if you get ahead, it's one of their only outs. Not one of their only outs, but like, if they verdict and you recover, Snapcaster becomes an out for them. That's so tempting. The curve's so low. Don't think I can keep it. It's pretty tempting though. I probably kept that if I could have cast my spells on turn 1. So we keep this and ditch a land. It's a bit risky, but like, we have 24 lands, and this game isn't ending in the first 4 or 5 turns. It's going much longer than that. Magic Knot, Snapcaster, Timely are the cards I care about. None of the cards are actually castable right this second. They kept it on the basis of I will draw some lands at some point. So my Raise Land gets under Logic Knot. My life total can probably go under the Timely. Timely is real annoying. I'm going to leave them the Snapcaster. And take this. Just going to raise the alarm. I didn't know actually, just in case he drew a blue land. They didn't. So we'll attack for 2. Most of their hand is a bit of a nightmare, but I'm just going to put some more power on the board. Field of Ruin, okay. Mana Leak, okay. That's annoying. If we had 3 land. Right. Have Logic Knot, Cryptic, Narset, Snapcaster. Okay, I'm just going to pass. They are nowhere near casting Cryptic. Snapcaster's blank at the minute. Man, I need some lands. I mean, we both need some lands. They're taking out this Godless Shrine almost for definite. Because they just need a blue for their spells. Right. Options, options, options. So if they go to 3 lands with a blue, that's Narset that's coming down. But if they add a 4th land, I think I'm just going to take Logic Knot. Try and plough through these Snapcasters and the Cryptics. They may... I'm surprised actually. I'd have been pretty tempted to go Snapcaster Path and ramp there. But yeah, they can make Narset, but Narset doesn't find lands, it only finds spells. And I'm going to kill it. That's big to fairy, so that's less of a problem. Narset, Narset, you. Bang. And they still don't have like a Wrath, I don't think, so let's get another Lingering Souls. So we now have 6 power. They have Path. Ugh, that's awkward. So they're gonna probably have to do something here, aren't they? But it's probably Path plus. Oh, they can't Field of Ruin, so they can't make Snapcaster because I've got no non-basics. That's a pleasant surprise. This is more mana efficient, so I'm going to play it. We have double Lingering Souls in the yard. So they can snap. They're going to snap Path their own Snapcaster, which takes them up to Cryptic mana, which... Okay, I mean, I don't like being Cryptic locked. Ouch. Ugh. So I can make double white, triple white, play Procession, play Lingering Souls. So I now have lethal again. So they are on Cryptic Tap the Team mode, which means I can then follow up with Sorin. Yep. And we're just going to try and get this Sorin to ultimate. Although it's not actually that amazing here. But just having Sorin's nice. Sorin ultimate's actually pointless. I'm pretty sure they're just going to attack the team again though. Yep. Oh, they're going to Path. I should have ticked up. I should have ticked up pre-combat just so that... let's just get a Virtue in play. We've got them so close. And they keep missing land drops. Like, it's turn 10, they've hit 5 lands. And that's all we've hit, but they just need them more than us. Snap Timely, maybe? Snap Verdict, so they've drawn the land. Oh well. So now I make a token with this and with this. And make this. And press go. So they can't snap Cryptic. Mentor. Oh, my stuff flies. There's a weird line. Okay, so now they're dead, right? Make that guy actual lethal. Attack you. Please die. Please die. Well, we got him. And actually, if they'd have like Like, they should have played this first and then taken a free draw just by pinging one of these, and then I'll kill in the bigger creature, whichever's fine. But then, yeah, I had persecution to make this lethal if they had an answer to that. Stain of Mind's tempting, because that's not. So we'll try that. We're just trying to keep them off balance long enough to kill them. We did that pretty well there. Again, both decks stumbled around a little bit. Oh, this is a better hand. I like this hand. I'll probably shock play Legion's Landing because it's just power on the board, and then next turn I can Inquisition plus Whimsic Heights. Yeah, Inquisition. Let's have a look at this. Right, D-spheres are real annoying. Our Spell Snare and Opt. I have to take one of these. Play this. Someone can go under. Sometimes it's actually right to put blanks under there because you know they're going to try and field of ruin them, and you'd rather shuffle the Sovereign back in than something else. So maybe that was wrong. Looking at their hand, it could take me a long time to actually present lethal. Lingering Souls plays a little around Spell Snare, so I will probably fire it off here. Normally I try to play around, try and go like end step counter magic, but with them having a 1-mana answer to Raise the Alarm, it's so like what I mean by that is I would have just passed the turn there and then on their end step fired off Raise the Alarm, but because they have 1-mana answers to Raise the Alarm, it's just not as effective at all. So I'm much better off just seeing if one of these 3 guys connects. I think they're going to eat it. Yeah, so I don't know if these have different names. I hope they do. They do. Which means you flashback this, swing for 2. And as funny as it sounds, they might be forced to oust one of these just so I don't get the Planeswalker that's under there. I think they top deck to that land. Yeah, that's not surprising. And then when I fire this off, it's definitely going to eat a Spell Snare here. But I've got to play through it at some point. I'd rather they Spell Snare this than the Anthem. So that's that done. I can swing for 2. We don't know their last 2 cards, but they have 3 lands, so I'm not going to... Yes, I am. I'm going to Lingering Souls. Force of Negation is the card I was worried about there, but okay, that's fine. That's resolved. So I have enough power on the board. I don't need to commit anymore. I don't want to commit anymore. I want to flip this Legion's Landing, and I want Whimsic Heights to happen. So I think the Cryptic here. Yep, but they need to tap slightly different. Blue, please. But then oh, that's nice. I like that. But I do get to follow up with this, so it's less nice. Timely Reinforcements is definitely coming down, but we could take the D-sphere. And let's get the Anthem in whilst it's kind of free. So, we know what we're working with. They have Timely, and they might feel like they have to fire it off, but if they do, the Wimbus Heights and the Legion's Landing are definitely happening. So, oh, it's brutal. A top deck disenchant. Okay. Well, now certain timely are in hand, and we're going to go Lingering Souls Raise Alarm. No, we're not. We're going to go Gideon. Lovely. All right. I guess flipping will have to wait because we have a good card. They probably... Surprised at that. Fact or Fiction is slow. I think they had no cards to choose from there. I'm going to try and attack this and see if it happens. It does. So I'm just going to make more. I'm not going to flashback Lingering Souls. I'm not going to raise the alarm. I'm just going to keep going like this. Thoughtseize is a card. It's a card I'm interested in because they nearly always have cards in hand, but it's also a card that that I don't care if they field a rune away. So this isn't too bad. We know they have Timely. We know they have Fact or Fiction. Fact or Fiction really needs to find something really good. This is what Black-White Tokens is really good at, though. It's just constantly making them answer stuff. Like, they've had so many answers and they can only play so many a turn. That maybe showed a lack of patience, but I really want to get to attack. Sweet. That flips. And then I will cast this. Thoughtseize you. And now they probably have to Fact or Fiction. Probably. Oh, mama. Those are some magic cards. Well, if I take Verdict, they're missing land. If I take Fact or Fiction, they can Verdict, but I will have two walkers in this. I think I'm going to take Fact or Fiction and let them Wrath. As soon as they find a land, they get Snap Wrath. But none of those things actually kill me, so they might have to snap. So they're taking all this 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. They don't have a counter spell up at the minute, so I'm going to have this. I'm going to make a token. I'm going to make an emblem because that's useful to me and do that. So next turn they're going to tap out and Verdict, and I'm going to make a token that's going to be a 3/1. So they can't do that. I think they're forced into Timely here. I don't think they can win. What they could have done is played Verdict, and then when I made a token, they could have snapped to block it, but I was going to make Gideon. So yeah, they were dead on board. Whew. Maybe I should have let them Fact or Fiction, but they missed that turn. They didn't play anything that turn, and they should have been playing something. Even if it was just Snap, Disenchant the Virtue, they should have just not taken as much damage as they did. Sweet, that was a good win. I mentioned the website earlier, so I'm not going to go into that too much, but just check out this site, mtg.onl. It's my mate's site, and it's all about Magic the Gathering tokens. It's really sweet. You can load your decklist in and it'll tell you what tokens you need. There's articles about tokens. It's completely up to date. It's a full database from day one. He started the website fairly recently, but he actually decided, I don't know, maybe 5 maybe even 10 years ago, that he wanted to collect every token in Magic the Gathering, and he had to make himself quite a spreadsheet to keep track of that. And that's just basically what MTGO is. It's just a database, which is sweet, you know. It's a cool thing to have. He sounds lacking a token maker, but because we have so many in the deck, what have we got? 4, 8, 12, these 14. I think we can keep it and just hope that we draw a token maker. The hand's not stunningly fast either, but it does have persecution against a guy called Goblin Rabble Master, so he might have just got me there. But these cards aren't great, because if you have if you have 3 tokens, you don't really need a token maker. But we're going to take one because we should. Swift Spear. So we're playing Burn. This list doesn't have Alright Champion, which is a card that's great against Burn. I'm going to just Heights again for Possession. I guess we want to go wide if we ever get tokens. Yeah, he hasn't sideboarded for Burn particularly well. There's a couple of Time of Reinforcements and a Disfigure, which would definitely come in. And probably these 2 Duresses as well, but overall, this isn't a good spot. That Lava Spike just did 5. If we just draw lands, we're going to die. It was a greedy keep, and should probably have been a mull. Because, like, the problem here is that if we were to draw, let's say, Spectral Possession, I'm going to concede, but if we were to draw Spectral Possession there, we're kind of forced into blocking with them and not trading, and it just gets worse from there. So let's bring in the 1 mana removal and interaction. Let's bring in the Timelies. Nothing else is particularly good. That makes our creatures have lifelink. This makes a lifelink creature. This doesn't. So he's maybe on the chopping block. Persecutionist doesn't kill anything. Thoughtseize takes damage, takes life. This is just going to eat bolts, but like, eating a bolt is not taking a bolt to the head. So yeah, I think we just cut the Gideons and get on with life. Seems okay. Do nothing till 3. It's not our best 3 either. What am I hoping for? 1 mana interaction. Yeah, we'll mulligan. We kept 5 lands, do nothing last game. Let's not do it again. Okay, we'll keep this. And I'm going to ship the Godless Shrine, because there's a very good chance we find another land in the next 4 turns. Searing Blaze is the better card. Bolt Path. It's actually quite tempting to leave them the Searing Blaze, because by the time I make tokens on 3, they'll have already played their 2 lands out. But no, we'll take the Searing Blaze. There's a very good chance here that they're just going to turn 1 Goblin Guy, turn 2 Eidolon and draw a land. Yeah, so they drew a land off the top anyway, so we got punished if we'd have left them with that. Punished for keeping Basic Swamp. That has lifelink, so I'm going to keep that. It's not a great thing because you pay 2 mana to make it, but hey ho. This is turn 3, Lingering Souls turn 4, and take 2 for the privilege, so we're down to 16, and then we take 2 from the Eidolon, so we're down to 14, and then there's a good chance that the tokens die. But if they don't, we get to give them Vigilance and lifelink. Not Vigilance, just lifelink. So we haven't Tangible virtue. Okay, could I go to 10? I think I'll go to 10. So I go to 9. And then they're going to be forced to bolt and path these. And then I'm a long way from actually stabilising here. Maybe I should have double blocked. No, let's play this and plus it. Because it's going to force them to like path plus bolt. And when they do that, it's a bolt I'm not taking. And I'm going to leave them on the defense and force them to use both of their interaction. Because they can't attack unless they kill these, so they're going to have to kill them. I'm just going to the head. So they just have 3 burn spells in hand. That can't be right. If they have Boris Charm, put me to 2. They could go Boris Charm, path a token, win. We'll see. Maybe I should have just double blocked Eidolon, taken 2 from the Goblin Guide, and then flashback Lingering Souls, flashback, raise the alarm. I play raise the alarm, but then they would have pathed one of these in response. So they felt like they couldn't attack, and now I feel like I have to attack. So I will. I did this all wrong. I should have been playing Spectral Possession pre-combat. Oh dear. Because these should have lifelink. But what we do is we pay 2. So we don't take damage. But there's a good chance they have a bolt somewhere in there. But that was a massive misplay. And it did matter. It mattered massively because I have to block with all 3 of these, I think. I could maybe take 1. If I go like this and like this, I have 2, 4, 6 left. And go to 1 and then swing for 6. Gain 6. Would put them down to 3. They would then path 1. So if they path one of them, they go to 7. But I get in for 4 and gain 4. Go back to 5. And I'd be facing Goblin Guide plus whatever they have in hand. But I would have put them to 3. This is what I'm going to do. That was wrong as well. Right, yeah, so that's what we expected. So they go to 7. How's that change things for us? I think I hit them for 5. Kill this. So I go back to 3. So I'm dead to a bolt off the top. But now I can make a lifelinker, make raise the alarm in their turn. So I am just dead to bolt. I played this pretty poorly. Like I say, the last turn was key. Bollocks. We're dead. It's so frustrating. Was that the last match as well? I think we could have won that game. just by playing possession before combat, I think we would have won that game. Because they'd have had no attacks. And we lost 2 tokens because of that. So yeah, so we lost because of that. So I can wrap up pretty nicely here. Don't misplay. You go 3-2 for definite. So that's disappointing for a start. But secondly, I think these Wimbus kites would have been better as Field of Ruin. I don't need 4. They hardly ever got activated. They got activated against control and that was it. So if it's a card that's only good against control, just don't play it. Just play it against control. The rest of the deck was pretty reasonable. Like, there were times when Tide Hollow was okay, there was times where this was really good. But there's also times where they were bad, but that's the same for these 9 pieces of interaction. The token makers I like. Legion's Landing plus Windbus Kites, just it forces people to use crappy bolts on 1/1s because they're just scared of what's under the Windbus Kites or that flipping and giving value. Maybe wants an extra spectral possession somewhere. I'm not a massive fan of 2 of these main deck. I think that could get trimmed. So like I'd maybe do that for another spectral because you just don't want you want to be able to make tokens in this deck. You just have to make 3 tokens, and like Legion's Landing plus Racing Alarm makes 3, or Souls plus Flashback makes 3, or Landing plus that, or that and that. So like you have curves that make 3, but sometimes you want to go Inquisition Tide Hollow plus a 3. So I think that's Spectral Possession is one of the better cards. Like I could even see Lingering Souls being dropped for another one of these, but that's probably wrong. But this is a good card in this deck for definite. The sideboard, I don't like Spirit of the Labyrinth. I really don't. I think Duress is good. Disfigure's decent. Timely's good. I don't think you need 2 Stony and a Kataki. I think 1 Stony, 1 Kataki. 2 Rest in Peace. Could be any. You could add a 3rd for one of these. Stain of Mind was great. I'd add a 2nd. Because the matchup's where you want it. It's just so good. So I'd add a 2nd there. The question is whether you want like another Damping Sphere, another Rest in Peace, or something in the middle. I like Relic of Progenitors because you can bring it in against the Jund decks, which at the minute you're boarding in 0 cards, but you probably don't need all these Inquisitions, so or probably the Tide Hollows one that goes, because it just it takes their worst card usually rather than their best card. So maybe it could do something like this. For those playing in paper, what I'm suggesting for cutting budget, well, Marsh Flats doesn't need to be here. You could just run like 2 extra planes, 2 extra swamps. You could cut Godless Shrines from all courtyards. Even the Painlands would be fine. The mana in this deck is really quite like it's kind of free. It's not hard to make black on 1 or white on 1, and it's not hard to make. Like you don't need double black for anything, so it's quite easy to make this mana work. So you can hack this apart as much as you please, really, and get away with it. You could run 12 plains, 12 swamps, and it'd probably be okay. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend like 4 Field of Ruin before you went down that route, but you can budgetize that really easily. Path to Exile, you could make it into On Thin Ice if you've got snow-covered lands about, and you could do that with Fatal Push as well, and that would actually probably improve the deck a little, but only if you can get enough basics in. But you could, like this Fetid Heath, I mean, it doesn't really make too much sense. It's there to cast this, but like, yeah, like you don't need double black. You do need double white occasionally, but it's for this. So like, as long as you went Godless Shrine, Plains, you'd be okay. Soul King, thank you for the follow. That's much appreciated. So yeah, so you can change that removal pretty easily. Inquisition and Thoughtseize are kind of important. If you own more Thoughtseizes, just play them. If you don't, then Inquisition's probably cheaper. I don't know, they seem to fluctuate a little bit. The rest of this, I mean, this is just like bargain bin stuff. You can pick these up real cheap. And the Planeswalkers, you could almost play any Planeswalker. So the 4-mana Elspeth is actually pretty good. Yeah, this one makes a token or makes your token bigger. The 5-mana one is pretty good as well. It's good against burn. So you could, like, if these Gideons are more expensive or you just don't own them, these are pretty cheap. So you could do that. Yeah, the deck is it's decent. I misplayed in the last game against Burn, so I could have maybe 3-2'd, but we did 2-3. Rest in Peace could come out, and you could turn that into spell bombs or relics. So you pay that cheaper. Oh, that's what I said before. Sundering Growth should be in here for definite. It's just cheap, and it makes a token sometimes. So like it should just be in here. So let's just like pretend we're going to drop a Rest in Peace for a relic and play Sundering Growth and drop a Persecution. You don't need like 4 ways to kill 1/1s. So 2 Persecutions more than enough as well with as a disfigure. So yeah, I think it's pretty easy to get this real cheap in paper. Obviously it's the deck master thing. I can't remember what it's called, but where you basically get a deck for $25 and it's cheap, and a lot of these cards are in there. So it's a really nice base deck, and you can just play against mid range all day. If you play against Jund and you'll beat it 9 times out of 10. You play against the Amulet and you'll lose against it 9 times out of 10. But that's kind of what you sign up for with some modern decks anyway. Like if you're picking up Ad Nauseam, you're not going to beat Infects. You are going to be I think it's got like a crazy blue-white control matchup, for example, with all the pact negations and the fact that you can just instant speed kill. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know that deck, but I know for every 90-10 matchup it has some 10-90s. So, and then the rest are pretty even for most of modern, So, if you had more money to throw at this deck, Alright Champion would definitely be in the sideboard. It's just really, it's not only that it's really good right now, it's really good in a tokens deck. You won't get more life out of Alright Champion than you will here, pretty much. That's about it. I'll load this up onto YouTube. Go check out my website. Wherever that's gone, but it exists. budgetmodernmagic.com. Go check that out. There's quite a few videos, and let me know if there's any decks that you want me to play, because I have to be inspired to play a deck. I have to want to play it, and at the minute my list is just like decks that I'm not sure I really want to play. So yeah, like I have these in the queue, like Burn, Eldrazi, Titan Shift, but like Titan Shift is, I've played it before, it's just the most dull deck, in my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. I just don't want to play that. Burn, I played like a prowess deck previous, and it had Faithful Suit in, and then like 2 days later it got banned, so that kind of puts you off doing these kind of things as well. But also I've done something similar, so Elves is probably something to do, because we haven't done a what is it deck yet, a tribal deck, because Cavern of Souls and Aether Veil, if your tribal deck runs Aether Veil, I can't really do it on a budget. If your tribal deck runs Cavern of Souls, I can, because you just hack it apart, but a lot of the tribal decks that run Cavern of Souls are now 5 colour, and that's like, well, I don't actually have a replacement for Cavern of Souls in 5 colour that you're not already running, like Cigarette's already been run and all those kind of things. So it basically just leaves you with like Elves and maybe Merfolk, but Merfolk has $50 of its budget just in Aether Veils. So I'm a bit like, well, I don't want to play Burn. I don't want to play Titan Shift. Storm, you don't even have to like change. You're just playing it. So then I'm just playing a deck that you could just play. Like you don't, and there's plenty of people that can show you that deck. Um, so yeah, you don't need me to play that. Twiddlestorm's kind of similar. Blue White Quest I've played before and isn't very good. When I Green Aggro just doesn't tickle me, and I know this unexpected McCall deck is just it's just a 2-3 in the way in. When it works, it's gonna win sometimes, and when it doesn't work, you're just gonna be really miserable. And I don't like decks that have no play to them, like decks where you just go land, 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 land. Let me try and do my thing. Oh, it didn't work. I lose. Oh, it did work. I win. They just don't appeal. Titan shifts are kind of like that, Just play land, play ramp, ramp, ramp. Did I win? Yes. Did you kill me before I could kill you? Oh, okay. Like that's what you sign up for with that deck, and it's fine. And like there is play to every single modern deck. There's no deck that you can just like rock up to a GP and win with no practice. It just doesn't exist. You need to know matchups. You need to know play patterns in sideboard games. You need to know how to sideboard. You need to know how to mulligan, and there's always a few little tricks to these decks. But uh, it's it's that's why you can't win a GP, but you can win games because those tricks don't come up, or because you don't draw the sideboard cards that you shouldn't have boarded in, or whatever else. So those kind of decks just don't appeal to me. So yeah, let me know if there's decks that you want to see played. You can find me on Reddit. You can find me on um, Facebook now. I have a page. You can find me here on Twitch. You can find me on YouTube. Basically, everything is daviusminimus or budget modern magic. So hopefully there's some deck lists on the way. But I'm going to leave that there. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, have fun, guys. See you later. Bye.